التحدي سلمت ودمت وكنت الأمان. سلاما سلاما بلادي سموتي سلاما عمان.
Hi! Would you like to build an app that looks like this? Well, if you do, watch this video right here, because that's where I explained of how to go about implementing an app that looks like this using a step-by-step process. You can also watch the exact same video by clicking the link in the description below. Basically, this app right here displays a list of the user's favorite movies using something called RecyclerViews. Okay, and so let's talk about today's video. Wouldn't it be great if we could improve this app right here in such a way that if the user clicks on a single movie, the user is then redirected or taken from this screen all the way to this screen, to this more detailed and more descriptive screen. Even better, wouldn't it be nice to allow the user to buy a number of movie tickets by clicking on a button here, and then the user is shown their tickets purchase confirmation using a notification. And my friends, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So what do you need to be able to follow us today? Well, you need 4 things. First, you will need to be super excited. And if you are super excited, would you please support me by subscribing to my channel and liking this video? And 2, you will need to be able to understand the concept of on-item click listeners. And then 3, you will need to be able to understand the notion of activities and intents. And 4, and finally, you will need to understand what notifications are. Okay, and now let me shed a light on each one of these concepts. First, here's a question. What do I mean by on-item click listeners? Well, my friends, if the user clicks on a single movie in here, the app responds to that click and does something to the user. So that is an on-item click listener. Basically, the app listens for a click action. Okay? Unfortunately, RecyclerViews do not support on-item click listeners by default. That means if you would like to add this on-item click functionality, then you will need to implement yourself as the programmer. This is of course unlike the good old list views, which does support on-item click listeners by default. Okay, and now to the second concept, and here's another question. What is activities and intents? Well, my friends, in Android, an activity is nothing but a Java class with an XML file, technically speaking. Now, an activity presents a single focus screen to the user. This could be to display some information to the user, or indeed to ask the user to input some information. That means if you have an app that displays 5 different screens, then you will need 5 activities to support that. Of course, when you advance in your programming, you will discover something called fragments, which basically allows the display of multiple different activities in the same screen. Right, and now to the third concept, and here's another question. What do we use intents for? Well, how do we exchange the information from this screen to this screen? We can use intents to do that. So we can use intents to exchange the movie data from this screen all the way to this detailed screen. Now, of course, intents can also be used to support other things. For example, intents can be used to invoke external apps. So within your Android app, you can invoke the SMS application, for example, using intents. And of course, intents can also be used to invoke internal or other activities, as is the case in this video here. And now, let's keep things simple. because I love simple. What can I say? I'm just a simple person who loves simple stuff. What steps do we need to follow to be able to implement this whole project? Well, my friends, you will need to follow a total of 10 steps. And here they are. Step 1, implement the on item click listener. Step 2, implement the detail activity. Step 3, implement the detail layout file. Step 4, update the model class to support the price and the description properties. Step 5, in the main activity, update the static data provider method to provide data for the price and description for each movie. Step 6, implement the intents to transfer data from this screen here to this screen here. Step 7, in the detail activity, receive the intent transmitted data and process them. Step 8, update the detail layout file to support the notion of arrays and spinners. Step 9, in the detail activity, add the necessary Java code to support the notion of spinners and arrays. And finally, step 10, implement the notifications. And that is the end. And now to the quote of today. Please be kind and supportive to each other, because every single one of us is fighting our own life battle. Thank you and happy coding.
أنت روحي أنت قلبي